Phase 2 is prepare. This stage involves washing our hands, collecting what we need, washing our hands again, and drawing up the medications and flush. Using a clean container, collect everything you'll need from the medication pack provided to you by the Palliative Care Service. The medication, 2 small syringes, 2 blunt drawing up needles, red caps, 1 sodium chloride or water ampule, 1 cleansing wipe, labels, and a sharps container. Before opening any of the equipment, it is important to wash your hands well. The aim is to get the medication into the syringe from the ampule by drawing it up with a blunt needle. To do this, start by opening the syringe, being careful not to touch the narrow end. Also, open up the needle. Leave the cover on at this stage and push it straight onto, or screw it gently, onto the narrow end of the syringe. You can now place the empty syringe with needle attached back into the container until ready to use. The next step is to open the medication. How you open the medication will depend on the medication that you are giving. Most medication will either come in a glass or plastic ampule. If you are using a glass ampule, you will need to snap the skinny end off at the top. Before you do this, have a quick look to see if there is any liquid still in the top. If there is, gently flick the top with your finger until the rest of the liquid sinks to the bottom. Now that all the liquid is in the bottom, you will need to snap the top off. To do this, hold the ampule in your non-dominant hand and have a quick look to see if there is a small dot anywhere on the top. This dot represents where the top will break most easily, so we can use this to guide where we will put our thumb. You may also wish to fold the alcohol swab around the top of the glass to help break the ampule and protect your fingers. With the hand you're most comfortable with, grip the top between your thumb and index finger so that the thumb covers the dot. Now simply snap the top off the ampule away from yourself. Some ampules are harder to break than others, so this may take a few goes. Glass ampules have a little bit extra in them, so if you spill a small amount when opening it, it shouldn't matter. If you are using a plastic ampule, open by simply twisting the top until it breaks off. Having now opened the ampule, we will show you how to draw up the medication with the needle and syringe. First, carefully take the cover off the needle, which you will notice has a blunt end. Holding the medication ampule in your non-dominant hand, place the needle into the ampule. You may wish to tilt the ampule on an angle. Take note of where the fluid level is and try to keep the end of the needle below this. Now slowly pull back on the syringe to draw the liquid into the syringe. When the fluid is in the syringe, make sure it is held with the needle pointing to the ceiling. Remove any air bubbles by flicking the side of the syringe with your finger. This will push the air bubbles to the top. Then gently push the plunger until the air is gone and the fluid is at the required level for the dose to be given. Your palliative care team will advise you on the dose and volume ordered, and whether you need to draw up more than one dose out of the same ampule using another syringe. Follow your palliative care team's advice on dose and volume. You can now carefully remove the needle from the syringe using a twisting motion. You should never recap a needle. Instead, place it into your yellow sharps bin. If for some reason you do not have a yellow sharps container, speak to your palliative care service. You can then place the syringe back into the packaging to keep the end clean until ready to use. If you have been supplied with a cap, you can place this on the end of the syringe. Syringes must be labelled with a date, medication and dose and stored for later use. It is very important that you label the syringe straight away. Your palliative care service will provide you with the appropriate labels that are used and the information about storage. Finally, you need to draw up the flush. Flushes are needed to ensure the whole dose of the medication is given. For a flush, we use sodium chloride or water, which comes in a plastic ampule. Your palliative care team will determine which flush is needed, depending on the medication to be given. To open the plastic ampule, twist the top to take it off. With a new needle and syringe, place the needle into the ampule and draw up 1 ml. Remove the needle and replace it with a red cap. It is important not to confuse the two syringes, so label the flush syringe straight away.